And we are live. I am reporting from hotel Wi-Fi, even though I told Nick and Jill I think it will be better because everybody's gone during the day. So hopefully, but if I freeze, just listen to them and then we'll make the most out of it. But welcome to the most bittersweet episode of the Doctor's Orders of all time. Episode 187 in a row without ever missing a single week, period. I think that's pretty impressive, especially when you coordinate multiple parties. My name is Dan. I am the co-host of this show. Hopefully, not the last time you'll hear me saying this as the co-host and the other co-host with me here. But we are joined by the co-owners of Dr. Nick's. We are joined by the husband and wife team that we've been focused on last night and today, and I'm not even gonna get into it. I want to get sappy on stream, even though we already have 35 people in here. So cool, man. Thank you guys for coming out. If you could, please help me. We'll welcome Nick in a minute. But if you could help me welcome the person that's behind the scenes. Somebody commented last night. They're like, do you think Nick could whip me up some more butter? And I said, hey, sir. Do not be discounting the person that's making those miracles happen, making the magic butter on your skin, the developer of the scent profiles, the products, the everything behind the scenes. If you guys could help me welcome Miss Jill Phelps, a.k.a. Jill. Jill, how are you on this strange day?
Exhausted and a little soggy, but
I
we probably don't have the weather you have down there. We have nothing but rain up here.
Ew. Yeah, it is 83 and sunny right now.
Rub it in.
Sorry, it is. Yep, 83 and sunny and wonderful. But I think good days are coming ahead for you guys. So hopefully it's heading.
Oh, hell yeah!
Because it was warm back in Michigan, so usually you're like a day and a half behind us. So it should be coming. Yep.
Mm-hmm. It's on the way. We got
and
like
then,
70s.
Ooh, yeah. And then if we could welcome the man that I don't know if anybody has. Dan's got his Waldo shirt on. I don't know if anybody has noticed, but we have the man that's a little bit different right now. If we could welcome the doctor himself, Mr. Nick Phelps. Nick, how are you on this strange day?
Strange. As usual. I'm strange. I'm a strange person. So on a strange day, it's just another day for me, another day of being a weirdo. You know, it is a strange, beyond strange day. Like the amount of last times for things that we have going on right now is absolutely mind blowing. Like we're talking to you just to set the scene. We're talking to you from a vacant building right now. You guys would not know because I've left every single thing intact in this room. We have to be out as of midnight tonight. And we left the entire studio intact. And by entire studio,
one chair.
I mean, we're down to one chair in the whole building. So Jill's sitting in a step stool. We have, and so we have everything, the couches, everything's out of my office here. Literally, if you turn the camera this way or that way, it looks like we're just loitering in an abandoned building. And so, which is kind of what we're doing. Technically, we're just here squatting.
I was gonna say I can look into squatter laws if we need to, because I think we can get some room for you guys to stay open for a little while.
Yeah, exactly right. I think we have our legal right here is until a sheriff forcibly removes us from the building. So technically, but no, it is a weird time. We got a lot of stories about what's going on, lots of stories about what's happening here, what we're doing today, what we're doing this week, and all sorts of weirdness, man. Yeah, it's crazy. And of course, elephant in the room here. I got everyone's been sending requests, and everyone that's seen anything has been very supportive, which is really, really cool. It's a big change, right? What's crazy to me is I went from 32 inches down to 20. So I cut a foot off at once. Didn't even notice. No one noticed. Like literally no one noticed a whole foot was gone off my beard. I could barely even tell the difference. And then I went from 20 or 18-ish inches at that point down to 12. And it feels like I didn't even have a beard anymore. Like it was the weirdest. Like I walked out of there feeling like I had a goatee. Like It was the weirdest thing ever. And I'm like, oh my God, it's too short. I went 2 inches too high or whatever it was. So I had a day of freak out. I didn't even text Dan. Like he texted me about it and I'm like, and then like I didn't even say anything. And so
Yeah.
no one got photos. No one got anything, but I'm actually really I'm reasonably happy with it now. I'm getting used to it. What I like, it's what we always all talk about. It's like what we did for the length. We decided we had like layers of density, right? Like you kind of have layers of growth. You kind of have like that quilt layer that comes down to a certain length. Then you have the next kind of layer. Then you have the extra layer past that. So what we tried to do was on top of a white cape, you know, white barber's cape, we just kind of lined up those layers of density and we just found like that second layer went right for it. And I think what it did was what everyone tells you it'll do, and I've never tried, which is you go up to that point of density and your beard looks like it's 8 times bigger and denser. So it actually ended up, you know, I'll answer that in a minute, John. But, you know, it was, it's like right now, you used to be able to see through the middle of my beard where I wore a white shirt, and I have a full white logo on this black shirt behind me, and you can't see it. So I kind of like that in the sense that it's right down to the point of being like super duper dense, and I think it looks nice and thick, and it goes up when I raise my head, so it's not, you know. And Karen, I know, and you know, you told me on the last one very stern words of, please don't cut your beard, Dr. Nick, and I had you in my head when I'm sitting in the barber's chair. So I'm like, well, don't go shocking Karen here because you can't go too short. And so I think we did. I think we landed right in the middle in a good spot. I can still do a nice braid. I can still put it together if I want to. You know, so I think it's density maxing for sure. Like I went right up to that density line, and now it's going to kind of grow down in that density. So when I get a little longer in my comfort zone, I think it's just going to bring the density with it, I hope. So overall, Leo, thank you. And yes, happy with it. And to answer John's question, I wouldn't say I did it because of the new role. No, I'm not going to be, it's not like I have to do anything different. Or what's cool about the role that I'm getting is I'm taking on a role that is an executive level role, but I don't manage anybody, which is nice because I don't like managing people. And so I basically get to report straight to the CEO, and I don't have to manage anybody, and I get to kind of be a thought leader and independent contributor and intellectual property builder. But I don't have to do anything as far as wearing sleeves to cover my tattoos or keeping my beard short or anything else. I get to be me. And interestingly enough, one of the products that we're actually producing, its code name is Project Viking. The internal code word for it. So, I mean, you can't really have a better spokesperson for something that's called Project Viking, and you can't really make a guy that's in front of that product cut his beard either. So it's crazy. The 12, yeah. So it is crazy. 12 inches does, right? It looks short on me because it was like my beard was, you know, down to here. And one thing I will say is like through this move process of like getting the building ready, I'm really glad I actually did this week because it was really, my beard was to the length that it was very cumbersome to deal with. And because I'm a person who does a lot with my hands, right? So like I work on cars, I work with wood, I do stuff with instruments, I play guitar. I do a lot of things where I do stuff with my hands, and I was always grabbing it with whatever I was doing. It was always underneath a piece of wood or in a piece of metal or avoiding a tool or something. So it was actually kind of nice this week, like having it out of the way, because fun fact, before we move on, we did figure out that before I trimmed my beard, it was exactly half my height. So I did have exactly half my height in beard. And when you have a beard that's half your height, you run into certain issues that you don't really think of. And so it was jarring. It was shocking. And I think my brain's getting used to it now. I'm happy with it. And, you know, it's good. But
it's crazy.
And you slept better because you didn't wake up wrapped up like an anaconda.
I didn't. No, it didn't try to strangle me in my sleep, which was really nice too.
That's awesome. That's awesome. And have you had the moments where you're in the shower or anything and you go to grab it and you're like, oh, wow, that's super weird. Like phantom beard?
Oh yeah, 100%. And what the weirdest part for me is that because it's cut at a point where it's really dense, like it when I go down to the bottom like this, it's not a taper.
Right.
It just ends. It like all of a sudden it's like thick beard, no beard. And it used to be like thick beard, little bit of beard, almost gone, and a couple hairs and no beard. And so now it's like it's different. It's shorter, which is weird, but then it's also like, you know, there's certain things you have to do like as a guy during the day though, and I didn't have to throw my beard over my shoulder to do it, which is pretty nice. And that was a thing for a while there. It was always an over the shoulder situation with a number of activities, and so it was pretty nice not having to do the beard over the shoulder.
Putting a shirt on has to feel different too, blooping the beard out of it.
Oh, way different. It was like I like did the blue. I was like, huh? Oh.
I bet. And I got a question and topic for Jill coming up here in just a second. But to kind of wrap this up, and question from Leo, but I mentioned it last night. And also, by the way, to keep things bittersweet as always, this is our biggest Doctor's Orders audience in the history of the show.
Oh, wow.
Oh, wow. Of course it is.
Yep, we've hit 70. So it's
thank you.
Yeah,
thanks for coming to the celebration of life going away party.
Yep. But the one thing I want to say before Leo's question is I mentioned it last night. There's a high likelihood that this same time slot, Tuesday, 1 p.m., Nick and I will have a live stream together, likely with a tech side of things. Stay tuned to my socials. I'm sure stay tuned to the Dr. Nick socials. We'll keep everybody in the loop. It's not official yet, but there's a good chance that we can keep this party going. So keep that in mind. And then just to kind of wrap up the new spot and everything, Leo wants to know, do you have a title or is there anything that is set where you can articulate it?
Yeah. So I'm going over as the I can't say the company name yet because I'm contractually obliged not to. Yep. But I'm going over as their CISO, which is their CISO, also known as the Chief Information Security Officer. So I'll be going over as it's the only executive role with 4 letters in the acronym, and so it's a weird one. It's kind of a newer role, and what's interesting is like the Chief Information Security Officer role started popping up about 10 years ago in the large company space, and it kind of is a weird mix between like a chief of security, but also like a chief information officer, like a CIO, and a CTO, like a chief technology officer. So it's kind of like a weird blend of 3 roles together. They have all those other roles there. They have a CTO, they have a CIO, but they do not have a CISO. So that's what I'm going on to take on.
Okay. Congrats, man. That's super cool. And I agree with Dylan. He said Nick seems jolly and in good spirits. That's awesome and heartwarming.
Dylan, thank you for that. It's bittersweet, right? It's like I'm like all the emotions at once is kind of the way it is. Like if your body has nerves and emotions and they all have like an on and an off switch, it's like or like they're buttons in an elevator. It's like a little kid just went in the elevator and just swiped his fingers down all the buttons and they're just all on. It's like every happy emotion is there. Every excited emotion is there. Every terrified and scared and sad emotion is there all at the same time. So it's like, it really is everything. I mean, if I'm being honest, it's like excited, happy, content, but nervous, but also just like all the normal human things, right? Like sad to see something go that you've spent a lot of your time with, and sad to not be interacting with like the same people that you're used to interacting with on a daily basis. And you're kind of like, it's like the feeling of homesick before you leave home when you're a kid, kind of an idea. That's kind of like one of the feelings, I guess, that's kind of like front and center right now. It's like this weird, I'm like gone at summer camp kind of a thing, right? It's like this weird feeling of getting disconnected. So yeah, I mean, guys, it's everything all at once. There's no other way to explain it.
And a therapist would probably tell you to embrace all those feelings and feel them and encounter them head on because you've earned every single one of them, and it's not going to get any less crazy from here.
No, it's not. And I'm just glad that, all signs are pointing towards, we're keeping at least part of the band together here, right? Like you kind of mentioned, keeping Tuesdays at 1:00 going. I think there's a pretty good chance that we might not even miss a week. Like I bet you we're going to have something sliding in pretty quick. So keep an eye out. I'm going to call myself wrong, bad intuition, and way off the mark if we're not on next week or at the very latest the week after. So stay tuned on that for sure, because it's going to be a really fun one. It'll be just really cool getting a new topic too.
Yes. And also, we're now at 80. If you guys could hit that thumbs up and just thank you for being here. Really cool. Now, the other half of the new chapter is Jill. And essentially, what we've been saying is Jill is going back to school for animal welfare. Jill, can you tell us what your past has been with this? Can you tell us what is animal welfare? And then what are your goals, right? When people get education, what does that look like in the real world afterwards? So anything and everything, we'd love to hear from you.
Yeah. So I guess I'd say my past with animal welfare is just being a child that just always felt really in touch with animals, and just, I was always trying to rescue the chipmunk from the cat's mouth, or, bringing in critters from outside into a little tank and trying to, rehabilitate them until they went out. And that was just like silly kid stuff. I've just always just loved animals and wanted to do more to help them. And I ran into just a lack of time the past few years, which has been fine. But ideally, I'm looking into like marine conservation, which is like cleaning up waters and, litter, testing water pHs and all that stuff, and getting all into that. And then potentially, hopefully getting into some rehabilitation in marine. I'm hoping I qualify. So I obviously haven't been to school since I graduated high school. Fresh out of high school, I started working and been doing just odd jobs ever since. So it's time for me to just go back and get like a real education for myself to, go towards a dream I always had, and hope I make it.
This is the girl who in summertime carries around a box with gloves special in the back of her Jeep, so that when she sees turtles either getting close to a road or on the road, she stops traffic, makes everyone stop both directions. She gets out with her gloves and she's got her turtle box, and she gets the turtle and she relocates them back. She figures out where they're going and she brings them over to the body of water so that they don't have to try to recross the road to get back there. So it's, if I had to guess, knowing my wife like I do, she's going to get into it and get quickly sucked into something relating to turtles, sea turtles, something to do with site marking, migratory habits, and all of a sudden diving into the behavior of sea turtles as they migrate and lay eggs or something cool like that. Right. I feel it happening. I can see it.
I can't drive to work without moving something off the road. I really can't.
No, she can't. Like every time I'm like,
I jump out. There's if there's a dog loose, I'm the one that's running down the street with my car a half a mile down in the rain with a leash. I'm just, it's, or animals that are roadkill. I feel bad that they just get squished, so I move them off the road sometimes. It's anything. I just want to help them all.
Aw. And Kenny wants to know, is this an environmental degree or is it a certain certification?
Well, it depends. You need some certifications, but if I had it my way, my dream, obviously it would be like a bachelor in science would be awesome. But, we're going to see, we're just going to run head first and see where we land, And
then, what's really neat about that is normally you would have to pick pretty specific stuff to go, over and do a specific part of that world. And you have to go to a certain school to do it. Being up here, we have WHOI, which is you have Woods Hole Oceanic Institute, which is like one of the premier oceanic institutes in the country, and they work with MIT. MIT has a lab at WHOI, and it's literally 45 minutes from our house, and people fly from all over the world to study at Woods Hole. And so we're within 45 minutes of one of the destination places. We also have some really cool connections in the with the Boston Aquarium and some of those people. And so there's some cool tie-ins, and we're in a neat area where she can kind of just jump in with both feet and then find something in that has a limitation of, well, you need X, Y, and Z to do that. And it's like, cool, go do that.
Yeah, because turtles get shock in Massachusetts a lot in the winter when they're migrating because of the cold waters. So to be able to be on the boat, bring them in, or to be hands-on, I need more certifications than being at the aquarium and at those places when they come in to just help out. So it's more or less, it's how close do you want to be to touch him? And I want to touch him.
That makes sense. Awesome. Well, we can't wait to follow and see all the journeys that you go on. It's gonna be really cool. And yeah, I love that Jill is able to join us today. And then, all right, couple quick question here. Do y'all plan on staying in your area? Are there any thoughts of moving now that you're not as much tied down to this building or anything?
There's definitely some thoughts of exploring and looking around for sure. We're not huge fans of the drastic 4 seasons of New England. We kind of would like to be in a 3 season kind of a place, which would be nice. Think North Carolina kind of weather, that kind of spot would be cool. But no, there's no immediate plans at all. What the immediate plans are is to travel. Yeah. We haven't been able to. Jill and I used to travel a ton. That was one of our favorite things to do. And since Dr. Nick's really started growing, it being a small batch company that is completely handmade from scratch every day, there wasn't much room to go on trips. And so aside from visiting my mom down in Tennessee for a few days here and there, I mean, we haven't been on an actual trip since our honeymoon.
I don't even have a Patowski stone from Michigan yet.
No.
I know.
And it's and every time that we've been trying to plan something out there or plan something down south, even it's it's always been something to do with the building or something to do with running any of the number of businesses that we were running out of here that really just kind of made it difficult. So no, what we're looking at doing is getting back out there and traveling a bit. We're going to go see some places. We're going to go do some things.
We got to go visit Abe in Texas.
Yep. We're going to be visiting all sorts of people. So as we bounce around too, we're obviously still very well connected with all you guys. We're not going anywhere, and the social media is staying alive. The Dr. Nick's page is still going to be there. That's how we're going to share updates with you guys. And of course through Dan. But then, I think one of the first trips we're going to have to do is probably finally get in the RV and go out and see Dan and go out and hunt for rocks.
I'm dying to. And Channing, do you know some of those Uper lights wash up on our beaches here in Massachusetts? And Nick is really good at finding them.
Wow. Yeah, it's crazy. They got brought over here by a glacier.
But we have a whole bucket of them at our house. We went out one night because I got so excited when I found out that we had them locally. And we all had these,
UV
flashlights. Yeah. And they're really powerful ones. We had some good ones, not some wimpy ones.
UV beast.
And me and my friend Sarah were looking for one. Just one. And Nick's I have 7. How'd you find them all?
No, I had a backpack full of them. And when we were out there hunting them, I actually felt bad because I would only say I found one every 3 or 4 that I found. I'd find one and look around and put it in my backpack. They didn't find one yet. All right. And I'd put it in my bag. And then it got to the point where I was taking them and throwing them in front of people and look, oh my God, you got one right in front of you.
That's good. Yeah, we if they come out, I'll for sure set up a local meetup. So Jason and all Nate and Hannah and all my Midwest Michigan friends will make sure to get something going. But man, there's just so much. Michigan is made for Jill. It is. It's not as much for Nick. Sorry, Nick, but it is for Jill for sure. It's the rocks and the scenery. The weather's very similar to where he is now, and that doesn't work with Nick's Hawaiian blood.
I'm used to the cold.
Yeah, you're hardened. Yeah, we're good. We're built for it. Nick, he still struggles.
Yeah, I'm a delicate little flower.
That's his catchphrase too, by the way, guys. He actually uses that.
Oh yeah, yeah, totally. Pedal soft.
Yeah. Pedal soft. Awesome. All right, new story. This is on, you guys know Hot Ones, Sean Evans.
Yeah,
and
I
they're
love Sean Evans.
Let's check the gram, and he posts a picture and then says, explain this, and doesn't give any context. So let's go ahead and explain this, Nick. And I want all the details. I saved the details for this stream, you guys, because I wanted to hear it with you guys for the first time.
My goodness, where to even start? So most of you guys know that downstairs in this building, we had a wood shop. And after having my wood shop down there for a long time, I ended up renting out the space to a guy who sells wood. He was just retail wood sales. So when I was running my wood shop, in the back of the building, I inherited from another wood shop that was closing a wood drying kiln. So what we ended up having here was, when you're selling slabs of wood, there's wet wood, there's green wood, and then kiln dried wood is what you need for making tables. It's what you need for making really anything out of wood. It's got to be stable, it's got to be dry, and it's got to be under a certain level of moisture. So you got to dry that stuff, and you can either do it outside, and it takes an inch or a year per inch of so you got a 3-inch thick piece of wood. You got about 3 years to 4 years to get it fully stabilized outside. Or you can use a wood drying kiln. This variety of kiln that you're looking at there is under a tarp, but it is called a high frequency vacuum kiln, and it can dry a whole 6-foot high stack of 2-inch thick, 3-inch thick pieces of wood in about 2 weeks. So you can go 3 years down to 2 weeks to get wood from the point of being borderline worthless to being worth a lot of money for dried, nice hardwood.
It's like the most ridiculous dehumidifier.
It is, yeah. And we can talk about how it works if anyone's interested in it, because it is pretty cool. But what it is, what you're looking at there, that's about 20 feet long, and it weighs literally 7.5 tons. So it weighs 15,000 pounds on the nose. So it's dead on 15,000 pounds. And I had this thing, if you look at that loading dock door, it's exactly 86 inches tall, and the kiln is 84 inches tall.
Oh my gosh.
And you have to forklift the front of it off the ground in order to roll it.
Which is like another 1.5 inches.
So if you look, basically the front feet that you see there facing the forklift, they only off the ground by about an inch, maybe an inch. And these guys that run that forklift and this kind of trailer, like, you've never seen anything like it. So what they do is, in the back of that thing, we had this thing inside, right? So in the back of our basement, we had this thing sitting there. And so what they end up doing is they take these things that are just called, they call them skates, but they're basically like, it's like a little metal tray full of metal rollers, like rolling pins. And they put those under the back of the kiln, and then they just kind of lift up the front just a tiny bit, and then they just roll it. They just coast the thing out through the basement, and they back up this forklift just inside of our building, and they back up the forklift onto the trailer. They bring it on, and then they just literally back the whole thing up there, and they just kind of controlled roll it the whole way. It's absolutely incredible. I mean, to see something like that move with just such little tolerances everywhere, with tiny little bits of precision. And this guy's just got a cigarette hanging out of his mouth, steering one-handed.
Like, looking behind him.
He, at one point, he checked his phone while it was rolling. He's sitting there just kind of backing up slow, and he's like, "Oh God, I gotta call that guy back." He's like, "Oh, right, okay." And it's just like his second nature to him, you know. But
yeah, he probably, like, it would be hard for him to do anything else at this point.
He is 5th generation rigging crew. So his dad or his great grandfather started this company in 1930. I think it says on the side of the truck 1938.
My goodness.
And so that's all they do. That's all they've been doing since the 30s. And that's all anyone in that family. They're all part of the family business. And this guy's in his 30s, I guess, that probably showed up today. But yeah, that is a 20-foot long, 10-foot wide, 15,000 pound case of metal. And we literally, I finished up about 10 minutes before the stream. They of course showed up an hour late in the rain. And we got it done though, and somehow here we are on the stream, and I'm not completely covered in dirt.
I didn't even ask you. I had to run home to go take the dog home at that point, and it started thundering and lightning and like full on downpouring.
Oh yeah.
They had been pulling all that stuff in at that point, right?
Yes. And of course, one of the guys, he's funny as heck. He like sits there. He's like, he goes out. He's like, well, there's one way to make it stop raining. And he's like, how's that? He's like, go get the tarp. And he's like, and I'm like, what do you mean? He's like, the one rule in heavy equipment moving, spend 20 minutes moving something to where you can put a tarp on it. It will guaranteed stop raining. And I'm not even kidding. This guy put the last bungee cord on this thing, stopped like a faucet outside. Like literally, like if you look at that tarp, it's dry. It's not like that thing's dripping water off of it. As soon as he got the tarp on inside, it stopped raining, and we pulled it outside. It's been dry ever since.
So were you able to be mostly hands off, like their team took it on, or were you doing physical, like you had to have guys on each side? Like how did that go for you?
It was all last night. Yeah.
So my work was all prepping this. Okay. So inside of this thing, so my work was all yesterday, and I came home yesterday probably dirtier than Jill has just about ever seen me. Like I came home completely covered in hydraulic fluid
and rust.
Like this thing is filled with hydraulic fluid. It's got rust. It's got dirt. It's got sawdust. There's actually a special substance that exists in the top of that machine that doesn't exist anywhere else in the world. It's a specialized mixture of sawdust and hydraulic fluid. That is just especially awful.
Oh. It was like the spot where your hat snaps. It was like a little like mossy section of it there. Wow. Like, how did you get it there?
Oh gosh, yesterday. So there's a reservoir on the top of this thing that holds like 5 gallons of hydraulic fluid, and this thing was in our basement. So we had about this much space above the kiln, and I had to get up there and crawl around on my stomach and disconnect all these bolts on the top of this machine, laying in puddles of hydraulic fluid. And then this thing weighs about 200 pounds, the big box of fluid. So I had to, on my stomach, lift the 200 pounds up in front of me and get it over to the edge of the machine where I could then get down on the side and like overhead grab this thing and pull it down with my friend. And so it would talk about being glad I didn't have a 32-inch long beard. I was like, oh my God, thank God I don't have a 32-inch long beard right now.
No, dude, that sounds like the new Final Destination movie. Like that's terrifying.
Oh, it was terrible. I didn't even tell you about the scary part. That was just the difficult part. The scary part is having to crawl into that machine all the way to the back of it. And inside of it, there is it weighs about 500 pounds, and it's a big metal press, and it presses 4 tons of pressure down on the wood inside of this thing. So here's the problem. This big metal rack, it's 16 feet long, 8 feet wide. And it has these 3 hydraulic pistons on the top that press down, like press down onto the wood. And it presses 4 tons of pressure on top of the wood to keep it flat while you're drying it. And so the problem with that is those pistons all stick up about this high on the top of the machine, and they weren't going to make it through the door. So those got to come out. Well, those pistons go through the top into that big metal rack, and you have to unbolt that metal rack and then support it and suspend it inside of this big chamber. So I basically had to like put my back against the rack and hold that almost 400 pounds up, and then like ratchet strap this thing to the sides and pull up on the straps and then get out of the way before it maybe fell on you. Yeah, make sure it didn't fall. Right. So I'm like in the back of this thing yesterday, and I'm positioning myself to where if the rack did fall, it would fall around me and I would go through a hole as opposed to getting crushed. I'm like, this is not the calculation you should be doing at all. Like, okay, so when the metal falls, I want to go through the frame and not under it.
Big skinny thoughts.
My heart rate just went up. I hate those movies, and that's straight up out of the movie. Like you just described the movie. Or do you know who Mr. Ballin is?
Mm-mm.
Oh, Jill would love him. Jill, today look up Mr. Ballin, like
Okay.
Ballin. He he's a storyteller on YouTube and he tells true stories and they're often like murder mystery or alien or cryptics, but he does a lot of ones that are like this, like the worst ways to die and stuff and it's very spooky stories and he's so good at it. So good at it. So that reminds me of one of his stories. Yeah, see
It,
everybody
I
knows
could
Mr.
imagine.
Ballin.
I
You're
could
welcome.
imagine. Yeah, it's definitely Final Destination stuff.
Oh man. And so good question here. I had to ask you the same thing. It doesn't seem like many people would know what to do with this big kiln.
No.
What did you guys do with it? What can you share about the destination?
Put it next to the dumpster.
Yeah. So what did I do with it? Yeah. So what did we do with it? We dried wood with it. No kidding. That was the dad joke answer. um, so these things cost about $85,000 new from China, and they sell for $20,000 to $30,000 used in the used market. But you got to find someone to buy it, and then the person that buys it needs to be capable of moving it, and then you got to be, all those things have to line up. So after listing it and getting inquiries from like 4 or 5 people that clearly were not up to the challenge, I was like, this is just not going to work. Like, this needs to get sold by a used equipment seller, right? Like, this needs to be sold by someone who deals with used equipment and moves it.
Right.
So I reached back out to the guy who moved it into the building for me, who's these guys, Dermer brothers. And I reached out to them and they're like, yeah, we'll move it for you. No problem. It's $5,000. We'll show up with the trucks. We'll move it wherever you want within, the area. And I was like, well, I got to have somewhere to move this thing, which I also didn't have. And I really didn't want to spend the $5,000 to move it if I, just to store it somewhere. So I reached back out to the guy, and this just is one of those things where like it always helps to just ask the question, right? Like it never hurts to ask. And like just again, we always talk about this. Like I haven't done anything in life that I haven't asked for, right? So I called the guy back and I just kind of told him the situation, right? I was like, hey, we sold the building, we're moving, this thing's got to go. I don't have a place to put it, even if I paid you to move it. Like, what can we figure out here? And he's like, let me talk to my dad. I'll get back to you. And so the guy calls me back and he's like, we got a big equipment yard here. We do a lot of used equipment sales. He's like, we have a 40-foot shipping container that's a high container that would fit this thing. And he's like, I'll tell you what. He's like, we'll come move it for you and we won't charge you anything for it. We'll take it away and we'll store it in a container and we'll sell it to a used equipment wholesaler and you can just be done with it and we'll keep the proceeds. And I was like, done. Like, you're going to show up and get this thing out of my hair and make it not my problem anymore and take it somewhere else to someone that'll use it. Absolutely. Come take it. So actually, it worked out great. Like, we scheduled it for the last day we were here and it lined up to where the shop was empty enough for them to move it. And no exchange of money whatsoever to get it moved. They came with 2 semi-tractor trailers, 2 forklifts, 4 people, a whole crew, and they're basically now going to take this thing and go sell it.
And you finished with enough time to change your shirt?
I finished with enough time to change my shirt. I did.
That's important. That's important.
Oh, because that was gross.
Yeah.
So OSHA senses tingling. Okay, so OSHA senses tingling. Let me get into the OSHA side of this. We did not close the retail wood shop while moving the kiln. So there was retail customers walking around in the shop downstairs. Well, what are they going to do? What are they going to do? Come after us? They're going to come condemn the building?
That's hilarious.
Come and get me.
Well, he wants to move less stuff. So it was just made sense.
Yeah.
Right. Okay. All right. Jill, to you. What is from what you know, right? What is the current state of the remaining inventory? And essentially, just so people know, what is made is made. That is final. Everything that's left is 40% off on the website right now. But can you give people just kind of like an indicator of how we're looking for numbers or anything like that? Whatever you want to say about the stock.
Oh, I'll say it all. You guys definitely did not leave us much to move, so that's amazing. Thank you so much, and we're glad that everyone got as much as they could in time. I have a few balm sticks left, mostly in 9 and 7, LOS and LCP. I have I think under 10 peppermint rosemary beard conditioners. It is the last of the beard conditioner. The LOS went last night, and there was one lemongrass ginger yesterday that went too. I have a significant amount of unscented shampoo and conditioner. That's really it. I am low on my LCP shampoo. I have a decent amount of hair conditioner. Very out of peppermint rosemary hair conditioner and low on peppermint rosemary shampoo. But anyone that ordered last night that got a t-shirt, I gave you a second one in that size, so you can have a spare shirt because we had an influx of t-shirts. And if you ordered a pin, you also got a second one. Someone ordered 2 pins. They might have gotten 4, just so you can pass them around and stuff. But yeah.
Heck yeah.
Super cool. Super cool. And then to kind of both of you, I didn't want to speak for you guys last night because I really didn't know any kind of answer here. I'm getting unbelievably blown up with people asking me about this, and of course for good reason. They don't want to miss these products as much as they love the people. They love the products too. But have you sold the formulas? Have you sold the name? Have you sold the scents? We've seen different versions of this in the beard industry over the last couple of years. What are the updates from Dr. Nick's?
No, we have not sold anything to anybody. We did not sell the business. We haven't sold any formulas. We haven't sold any of the branding, nothing. So just to kind of like put it all out there at once, I guess, is there a couple of reasons. So one is an interesting reason. Well, first reason, there's been huge interest in buying our formulation for butter. So lots of people have reached out wanting to buy the formulation for butter. And that's the one product that you guys will probably see again out there in the world someday, right? There's likely, what's interesting is it's probably not going to be beard focused. It's going to be the same butter, but it's probably going to be, it'll be branded more generally. It'll probably be the only product, and it'll likely be targeted for animals. And so it's gonna
just like you filthy animals.
So it's gonna be very, very different in the sense that Jill being in the animal welfare space, it's a natural kind of a thing coming up here down the road. But and then of course working just like we worked with homeless shelters for people on our side of things, we're probably going to work with animal shelters on that side of things. But the big difference, and just to kind of hit it right out of the gate, it's not like we're coming back in some other industry in the same permutation as we are now. That would be 100% of a co-packed product that is shipped and fulfilled by a facility that we don't maintain. So the reason we're talking about doing this is we have a lot of people locally and people online that really, really, really like this butter for their pets, for their dogs, and for doing a larger scale release of a product like that, we would start off with a co-packer formulator, and we'd be working with a fulfillment center. So based on our new endeavors, we don't really have an interest of running a small scale manufacturing facility anymore. So we would definitely farm that out. But that's where the butter will likely go someday, is into that world. Now, as far as everything else goes, what you have to understand about Dr. Nick's, and this is really important for everybody to hear, I think, is we didn't just talk about being different. We actually were very, very different. And the reason I say that is I don't think we actually built, this sounds weird to say, and it's not a negative thing. So I want to preface it with that first. I don't think we built a company as much as we built a product, and we built jobs for ourselves producing that product. And the reason I say it like that is when you start a company and you build a business that's a sellable business entity, right? Like that means that you have production channels, you have fulfillment channels, and you are selling that process that exists, right? Very rarely in the world would you sell an owner operator kind of a business in the sense where you are selling a job, right? And what I mean by selling a job is you're selling full-time employment, right? You would be selling somebody the fact that this is what we do to produce our bases. This is what we do for individual essential oils based on weights to make our scent profiles. None of the scent profiles were purchased by a third party. They're all formulated by Jill. And so,
but hey, you know,
and so it's the challenge is it would have to be someone who is interested in running a business as hands-on as we were, which is a day-to-day, 8-hour, 10-hour a day job of making things, packing things, shipping things, and fulfilling things. And so being is that there are people out there we feel like that probably would have been interested in doing that. We weren't interested in someone carrying on the name in that process. That wasn't us. So we made a commitment a long time ago that we would never do anything different, to sacrifice quality or to sacrifice process or anything else for you guys. And we stayed true to that, right? We raised prices when we had to and materials changed. We didn't cut back and we didn't cut corners. We didn't remove things. We just made it make sense. But just like that, I feel personally like handing off the brand of Dr. Nick's to someone to run it under that name. We just couldn't in good faith do it. Like we feel like it'd be pulling the rug out from everyone who got us to this point, right? We feel like profiting on handing this off and handing your faith in us off to somebody else felt like being disgenuine. It didn't feel like it was on brand, and it didn't feel right to us at our core. So just like everything else we've done, it's got to resonate with us and it's got to feel right. And it's got to feel good. And every time we talked about it, it just didn't feel right. So no.
Fair. Very fair. Great questions too, and fair. And on the previous topic of coming out, and guys, I saw a couple people saying like I knew it and stuff. That was literally the first time I heard any of that. So please don't think that this was some like master plan that they've been cooking in the background and they were going to sell everything to push products and they're come back and wamboozle you. I can't even imagine a timeline where this happens. It's not like it's here and ready. So just know that it's not like the some big pre-planned or big deal out there. But with it being for dogs, somebody with a dog, beautiful in the picture, how do people use beard butter for dogs?
Well, Sir prefers it on his snout. No, so like dogs can get lots of dry cracking on their noses and in between their paws or their pads, even being outside. They don't wear shoes, or maybe they do. But it's you can also use it directly on your dog's coat if it's a very dandery dog. Sometimes with the French Bulldog, he gets little face irritations and stuff. And as long as it's away from his eyes and stuff, I can put a little there. And since there's no scent to it, it's totally safe. It has the aloe butter, which is calming, and everything is all natural and safe for dogs.
Yeah. And it's like all over their coat, all over the fur. I mean, it's really, really good. And the reason I brought it up, and again, I'm terrible at bringing things up that have zero timeline to them or anything else, but just full transparency, like usual, is it's like, there's no timeline to it. All I can tell you is that there's in that world, it's a lot easier to partner with people in the manufacturing space. It's not like you're making cosmetics for humans. And the reason I bring it up is because our butter recipe has been something that people have just been asking us for like crazy. And the reason I've given people is when we tell people no, and then the follow-up question is, okay, why? Right.
Right. So, why not?
The answer that I've given people, and it's out there, is that we're just not sure that we are never going to use it again. Like we'd like the option to be able to do something with that in the future. Not that we have a timeline to it, and not that we even have anything really figured out about it at all, as if it'll even happen. But all we know is that if we wanted to do something with another product that we own here and do something different with it in the future, it's that one. And so just if anybody's listening and they're like, I'm going to reach out about it, I want to maybe work it into my product portfolio, or I want to suggest it to somebody else, just know that, you know, we appreciate that. And it's an honor for sure. We haven't taken it as anything but just a compliment whenever people have asked us. But it is the one that we might reserve the rights to be able to do something with in the future.
Yeah, respect. And then, of course, there's special goodbyes everywhere. But Arden, I know has earned a special place in your guys' hearts and family. And he says, "Goodbye, Nick and Jill. Will be greatly missed. Dr. Nick's and the products, Arden."
Oh, Arden, I really hope that this is the end of you ordering products from Dr. Nick's, but is not the end of us hearing updates from you and getting things in the mail from you.
I know we're gonna have to give him a new forwarding address.
Yeah, you're gonna need a new. We're gonna have to send you our information, because there's lots of people out there that we're just like, we've become very, very close with. But I will say, Arden, our entire house looks forward to the stuff that you send and your communication and your updates and your stories and your photos. So don't think like any of that's been missed, and don't think it would be out of place at all to continue doing it. Like, the friends we've made here are actual friends. Like, you guys aren't just customers. So don't feel like your interaction with us needs to stop when the flow of product stops, right? Please, if you want to reach out, something pops into your head, you want to send something to Dr. Nick or to Jill, do it. I mean, we're here, and we genuinely care about you guys and love you as friends. And it's, you know, wouldn't be out of place at all.
And Dan B, another friend of the family there, says, "Did Van Halen survive the move?"
Of course,
Of
that flag
course
is
he is.
tucked safely.
Oh yeah, it's packed up with Jill's
Yep,
office stuff.
with all my stuff.
It was one of the first things to get packed in Jill's office. She took down paintings and decorations, and that went right in the box with all of her other decorations.
We also have the Dr. Nick's flag that Dan ordered for us as well.
Yep.
That's awesome.
And Zach Hera, I have to say, in all the years,
Oh yeah.
you have the most Dr. Nick's orders out of any of our customers.
And we can
By
also
almost double.
Oh yeah, we can safely say that you are our number one supporter,
Mhm.
and you are double the support of number 2.
And and we appreciate every last second of it. So thank you.
And we've loved every last second of it. And so Zach, I saw your call come through the other day, and I sent you a text back. Just know, let's catch up next week once we get through the craziness here and we wrap this building up and we're able to get closer to closing time. Let's absolutely catch up, because I'd love to be able to share some of the stories with you.
Yeah, no doubt about it. And man, as crazy as we're wrapping up with the last few minutes here, I wish we had time. Maybe, who knows, in the future, a podcast or something. But the amount of stories that Nick, Jill, and I have for the last like 3 years, 4 years of working together and doing this, from things that we weren't fully even able to tell you guys, such as Nick and I's experience with one of the most legendary rock stars in the history of the world.
Oh, right. Oh, my gosh.
To getting a cease and desist letter because we talked about it, to having like management of the band versus his personal manager not cooperating and talking, and then telling us an apology. Like, the amount of crazy things that happen that we can't even explain. There's so many layers of just stories and memories, and I will have them forever. This has been some of the most fun things I've ever done. Again, to do a live stream, I don't think most people can truly grasp this consistency and just how much we love it. To do something every single week for 187 weeks. Like, we didn't punt once, you guys. Nope. There was never a week where Nick was like, "Dude, I feel like crap. We'll get back to it next week." Or, "Hey, we're on the road. Nick's on the road for business. I'm traveling with the family camping, and we're just going to punt because it'll be easier." 187 weeks in a row. And we truly could have punted at any time, but we both love it so much. And I just want to say thank you to Nick and Jill publicly. I want to say thank you to the chat. I have grown so much in so many ways from this stream and working with these two minds right here who balance each other so well. It's just been an unbelievably unique experience. And what Jill said at the start, that like, we're just getting started. Like, it's not the end of Nick and Dan. Like, truly believe that, you guys, and just know like Nick and Jill are household names that are for us, and especially with Violet. She doesn't shut up about both of them or tell me about she'll see a bigger beard and not, oh, now I gotta show her your beard because she makes comments. We'll see like a big beard out in the wild, and she'll be like,
Thanks.
Dad, that beard's closer to Nick than yours, and like just like throw shots at me. And so I'm
Awesome.
beyond thankful for the memories and
Oh,
it's both of
man.
these two and everybody, man. It's been unbelievable.
It's been
Dude,
a wild ride.
right back at you, man. And I'll just hone in on one point there again. If anyone thinks this is the end of Nick and Dan, you could not be further from accurate, because this was literally like our first of so many things we're doing together. And I mean, it literally was. It was like this is like the lobby to like the rest of what we're going to be doing. Like if what we're doing is a big giant cool hotel, we literally haven't even left the lobby and gotten in the elevator yet. Like we're still asking where the gym is. Like
Yep.
it's not even remotely close to starting. It's just going to get cooler. You guys are going to have some new audience members to make friends with, because we're going to create another whole community out of a blended community here, and you guys are all going to be part of it. So it's just there's some such cool stuff to come. And I just got to echo what you said there too. I mean, I had never done a live stream until you talked me into doing this. Like, this is one of those things where 187 episodes ago, I had sweaty pits and red face, and I was stuttering and I was nervous. And you know, it's just so weird, because now it's just a part of life. It's a part of every week. It's a part of my Tuesday. I look forward to it, and I really, really enjoy it. And it's so crazy to think back to like the few years ago, 187 episodes ago, where I was like so beyond nervous to even do this. And now I can't imagine not doing it.
You know, we've been talking a lot about like everything happens for a reason. And this journey definitely brought us to you, Dan. Like we were all meant to meet, but we wouldn't have met you in the technology world. I wouldn't have met you looking for rocks. So
might have met him looking for rocks.
Maybe.
Might have met him looking for rocks. But yeah, no, it's, if you think about the little paths that weave, and you think about just why things happen the way they happen, like this one was just undeniable. Like,
yeah,
it literally was. Like from the first week that we worked together, we're like, oh well, this is something special. Yeah, and it's just been crazy. It's been, everything happens for such a good reason, and here it is.
And Jay says, I rewatched the first episode recently, and it didn't show how nervous you were. Let me tell you guys, I get way too much credit for what I do. I help out a lot of companies and I help out a lot of people in different ways. And the spoiler is I do a lot of stuff and do it consistently, but it's not hard. Nothing I do is hard. And with this, the moment I talked to Nick for 1 hour, I already knew how simple it would be to help them with marketing and getting the word out. I saw what they were doing with a company and what they were doing with Nick, and it was just super simple. I just literally told Nick, he's like, all right, what's the marketing plan? What are we doing? What's the pamphlet? What's the traditional way? And I said, no, I just need you. And he's like, what do you mean? And this is literal. I said, I just need you. Like, if I can put you in front of people and people can get to know you, like this comment from Leo, he said, I love the way Nick gets things across. I knew that the moment I talked to him, and I said, my job is super simple. And Nick's like, okay, I've never done this. I'm super nervous. How do we go about the live stream? Do you have topics? Do you have this, that? And I said, Nick, I got you. Like, let me just do this and you be you. I promise I'll guide you along. And Jay, you're right. He was nervous. It didn't show one bit. It never once has. He's had rough days. He gets on stream. We leave the stream and it's the best day moving forward. And it's because of you guys. It's a therapy. It's a community. And just know, this was very simple to allow Nick to be able to show you guys who he is, to allow Jill to show you what they do, how they do it. It's been an amazing ride, and very, very fun, easy one for me to do. Very, very fun. And that's kind of my end here. Crazy to say that. Stay tuned to my socials, guys. I promise I'll get the word out about our upcoming shows and adventures. And again, it's not the end. We hope it's next Tuesday, right? Nick's got a really good feeling about it, so stay tuned on that. And I'll give the floor to Nick and Jill one last time here.
Oh man. Well, I think that said it. And Jason, why you got to go getting me like that, man? So long, and thanks for all the fish. You know that's going to get me. And you guys are just trying at this point. You want that last minute to have weepy Dr. Nick here.
I cried all last night.
Oh yeah, you guys got her. You guys got her last night for sure. But I mean, no, it's not the end. This is a transition. This is a change. This isn't a closing of a book. It's a turning of a page. And you don't lose friends like we've gained here with you guys, and communities like this stay a community. They don't go away. And so, I feel like exactly what was said here is exactly the way I feel like saying it, which is we've made some incredible bonds. We had a great run. I wouldn't change anything about it. And we couldn't have had better people to do it with here with you guys. And so, from us to you, we love you guys. We really do. And so long, and thanks for all the fish.
All right, guys.